This is Dr. Joey's old-timey mental sciencey medicine show, sometimes with snake oil. My name is Joey Sapp. I have a Doctor of Law from the University of Georgia. I've done postdoctoral work in clinical hypnosis. I was a registered hypnotherapist, a trial lawyer, a street musician, and mostly a whiskey priest. If you don't know what a whiskey priest is, Google it. It's a fascinating term. Unless you happen to be one, in which case it's a trying life. On my channel, I have previously put up 5 tips on how to get your life together if you're wanting to stop doing alcohol and drugs. Those are under a separate heading. What I'm going to do now is move away from the recovery and into the mentalism, the hypnotism, and the showmanship of mentalist and hypnotic influences and how they affect our lives. The first thing I'm going to try to tell you guys about is how to spot lies like a government agent or a suspicious housewife. Then we're going to move on to some interrogation training. Again, just like the government would do it or magicians would do it. Following that, I'm going to give you a little insight on how to influence people's decisions. You would be surprised at exactly how much embedded commands you face every day. And these embedded commands will subtly influence your behavior to such a degree that you could actually end up making a decision that but for the influence you would not have made. See, that's one of the things about hypnotism and hypnosis, the trance state, whatever you want to call it, the state of fascination, as it were. It will not make a person do what they do not want to do. However, through exposure over time, the fundamental core of a person's beliefs, ethics, and morals can be changed by exposure to these decision-influencing embedded commands. It's very important for the student to know these things and to work out. Now, if I have a chance, I'm going to briefly go, after all of this is done, with the spotting lies and interrogation training and showing you how to influence some decisions. I'm going to give you a brief overview of hypnosis and what it is, and I'm going to close it out with telling you and showing you how you can be a mind reader extraordinaire. These are skills that apply to anyone. There's nothing spiritual about them. There's nothing supernatural about them. They're all scientific. They're based on human behavior and human science. Much of what we have today that is considered stage magic, showmanship, a lot of the psychology and hypnotism is priestcraft from the days of old. Priestcraft. Back 5,000 years ago in the land of Egypt, if the legends are to believe, Hermes Trismegistus, also known as Thoth, Hermes to the Greeks, Mercury to the Romans, he showed us how to write. He showed us how to analyze. He brought magic and science and alchemy to the world. And through the years, these things have been refined. Ironically enough, the things that the priests used to know and guard, today science is being used to rediscover many of the aspects of quantum physics and the entanglements that come with quantum relationships, according to science, were previously espoused by the Hermetics. by the alchemists and the magi of old. And for 5,000 years, mouth to ear, the knowledge has been transmitted to those with an ear to hear and a willingness to learn. Along the way, if this stuff doesn't interest you, if this stuff doesn't apply to you, you're just going to hear words, words, words. And it'll be very, very boring. But maybe not this first thing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open up with how to spot lies. But we're going to do that under a separate cover because I'm going to try to keep everything at a reasonable pace. I'm not going to fill up the videos with a whole bunch of images that go along with it. A lot of this will be a podcast type format, which will be better listened to than watched, although at various times I will have certain things up on the screen. I do embed commands in many of the things that I do, but I embed commands that are designed to increase your self-esteem, to increase your integrity, and to make you feel better about yourself. I try to heal trauma. I try to fix broken people the best I can. So in just about anything I do, whether it's my legal work through Legal Writing USA, whether it's my influencing work through the Institute of Applied Mental Sciences, and whether it's just my daily life, trying to help folks out in a whiskey priest type role, I try to help folks. Your permission is not required, merely your presence. So the worst thing that's going to happen if you check out this series is you're going to learn how to spot some lies that people are telling you. You're going to learn how to avoid gaslighting. Interrogation training, you're going to learn how to cut to the chase. You're going to learn how to ask questions that matter and to really get the truth from folks. Influencing decisions, a little more advanced. Might lose some people there. You're starting to get at the level of self-study there. When it comes to straight hypnosis and mind reading, I'm going to turn you on to some really old books from a long time ago. There's nothing new in this. The old masters had it down. One thing that I will say is that in regards to a lot of this, there's a gentleman called William Atkinson Walker who wrote around the turn of the 20th century in the early 1900s, wrote a lot of stuff on the New Age thought. He is the originator, along with Thomas Troward, of the Secret, but it wasn't called that back then. A lot of the works of today's New Age are derivative from what he wrote. The best thing to do is to look up William Walker Atkinson for yourself, see what he wrote, pay particular attention to mental fascination, his works on the solar plexus, his works on the 7 laws of the universe, 7 immutable laws, which we'll cover later in our Hermetic series as I go through and explain how the 7 Hermetic laws are a algebraic formula, actually, to put the past in perspective, to plan for the future, and as I like to use them, for a runtime analysis of right now in the presence. It is through the effective use of the 7 laws of Hermeticism during runtime scenarios that creates what a lot of folks call residual magic. It spins the plates. Miracles can happen. It's all about science. It doesn't matter whether you attribute it to God, to Buddha, to Allah, to Jesus, cause and effect, or just plain coincidence. The fact of the matter is, it does work. Don't get caught up. Anyone can do it. And if you've woke up and if you've had the veil removed, this series is for you. Dr. Joey here, opening up next with How to Spot Lies, Master Skills.